All right, good morning, everybody. What's good? What's good? What's good? Just wanted to give it a couple seconds, let everybody join onto the call before we begin. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. Again, I just wanted to jump onto the charts, make sure that we are identifying the best opportunities for this trading week. Obviously, answer any and all questions that you guys may have, and really help you guys become educated when it comes to this forex stuff. Right? I know it's very difficult at times. Trading can be daunting. There's not that many resources out there that you could really be used significantly to really get a hold on how to become profitable. So that's my job. That's what I'm going to be trying to do with you guys here on this YouTube channel. So that way you guys can become more consistently profitable as well. So real quick, before we actually begin, let me actually just make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, you guys can. All right, just want to make sure everything here is set up perfectly for you guys so that way we can get started and start looking for some trades, if there is any at that point. But yeah, good morning, everybody. Again, hopefully everybody had a great weekend. I know right now I'm not as sick as I was before. I don't know if I actually have COVID. I took a test and it said positive, but then I took another one and it said negative. So I was really sick. I think it was Wednesday and Thursday I started feeling pretty bad, but over the weekend I was able to get much better. So those who hit me up saying thank you or for saying, get better, I appreciate that. A lot of wishes and prayers coming from you guys. So I definitely appreciate the positive energy from you guys. Check your gold. Hold on, bro. So this is my thing. I'm not really going to be answering questions right now. Obviously, I will be taking a look at gold and some markets, but right now what I want to do is identify the best trading opportunities that I can place for our auto trader. I want to make sure that obviously my students are getting the most amount of profits and obviously looking for signals as well. Obviously, as I go through things, I'll be educating and stuff, but hold on, Salah. I got you. But there's a few markets I do want to take a look at. Obviously, gold being one of them because it's a market that I personally like to trade. It's one of my favorite markets to trade. So I will be taking a look at gold. I'll be taking a look at some cryptocurrencies as well. Now, what I do want is questions. Don't ask me about a pair, right? Because I know a lot of you guys hit me up and you're like, yo, check this pair. What do you need help with, right? So these are the two questions I do not like being asked. And I have no idea why people ask me. One, what broker do you use? The reason why I say that is because the broker is not the one placing the trade, the entries, the stop losses, etc. Right? It doesn't matter the broker. It matters about your execution when it comes to trading. The second thing is, Jay, buy or sell gold. I don't know. We have to mark it up. We have to really understand what's going on. So I will be taking a look at some stuff, but I got you. But if you have a question such as how do you use a Fibonacci? Where would you place a trend line? Those are the type of questions you guys should be asking, right? Because those tools, that education, that value is what's going to put you in a position to become profitable. That's like a tongue twister when I said that. So those are the type of questions you guys should be asking. So I see you guys are drawing trend lines. They look like this. You're still cutting through candles and stuff. So it's important that you guys get knowledge. But I will be taking a look at some stuff for you guys as well. Yep. Good to hear you, man. Oh, I appreciate that, Aldo. Yeah, dude, I was really, really sick, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. For me I couldn't go to the gym. I haven't eaten. I finally got my appetite back this morning, so I'm making a big ass breakfast right after this. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. So real quick, let me take a look here on gold. I think for one, this is one of my favorite markets to trade, to obviously look at. One of the biggest things or the reasons why I like to look at gold and trade it is because it correlates with the dollar, right? So anytime I see what gold is doing, I understand the overall senses of what the US dollar, right, is going to be doing. So if I understand, again, I'm on a higher time frame. I'm pretty sure if you guys have been on any of my sessions, if you guys have been, tuning into these lives, you're starting to see a pattern. I'm always scaling to a higher time frame to understand what the overall idea, what the market is giving me. Is it up? Is it down? Is it buying or is it selling? Just simply put, we have to understand those things because if we don't, it's going to be hard for us to execute a profitable trade. So if I'm on a higher time frame, such as you can see here on the weekly, I need to identify my points of interest, if you will. Right here, these highs, and I'll mark another one here. This will be a minor level of structure for me because I like to use the ultimate highs and lows. You can see here we have two levels of significant structure based off the weekly time frame. Now, the reason why I'm on a higher time frame looking at these structure points is because these prices is where the market is gravitating towards, right? It's pushing towards these levels. As you can see here, from those lows, it's going to reach a significant high point. This being one, and then obviously these highs here being another. This will be the entire zone. I'm not going to make my zone that big. But once we reach that point, I'm going to be like, okay, well, now I'm going to take notice of this. I'm going to understand what I'm looking at and then go from there. So if I'm going to do this, let me actually just draw this out too. First level of structure. The reason why I'm saying this is my first level of structure is because, as you can see here, obviously there's a second level of structure, a point of interest. Everything is common sense when we start trading. So I'm looking at these two reference points for the market to reach and give us potential sells. So first, actually, I'll just put first PRZ. Then obviously this will be our second PRZ. So the reason why I'm looking at this, in case anybody's wondering, Jay, why are you just always on the higher time frame marking up structure points and there's no entry there, Jay? There could be, right? Because if I understand that the market is going to reach these areas, being the first PRZ or the second PRZ, these structure points, these highs, that means when I scale down to a smaller time frame, I'm going to be able to identify the moves being made on the smaller time frames, being able to get more detailed. So I don't have to go, you can go into the daily. We'll actually do that really quick. We can see on the daily, it did break significant structure. It's testing that structure. It's going to be the same thing when we scale down to the 4 hour. You'll be able to see it. Maybe on the smaller time frames, you can get more detail because you see the moves a little bit easier. So I'm going to draw this right here on the 1 hour. It's the same thing. It's the same level of structure, right? But what we're doing is we're understanding going from the higher time frame to understand, okay, well, right now this market is bullish. It's buying. So where's it going to buy to? Well, we understand it's going to buy up into one of those levels that we have marked up already up there. So when we go down in these smaller time frames, the only thing we're going to have to do is do what? Because 50%, I know you guys are hearing a bunch of sounds. I'm testing out these are free EAs. I found like a bunch of free EAs on the website. So I'm just making a little series like on YouTube for you guys to see if free EAs actually work, because the ones I paid for suck. I've actually created one. It was doing good, but it went bad. So I'm doing a little experiment. So if you guys hear like a bunch of ringing on the computer, I apologize. I have a free EA just running on a demo account to see if it works or not. And I obviously will put out the information for you guys if in fact it is a beneficial EA. It's something that I'm just doing for you guys and just like a little side project for myself. But again, I was on a higher time frame, and I understand that this market is currently buying. I have 50% of my work done for me now because I understand the main thing. The trend is bullish. This market is very much buying. We don't have to be a rocket scientist or have an indicator to tell us that. It's very much creating higher highs and higher lows. And you could probably see the break a little bit easier here on the 4 hour. Actually, it's a lot cleaner on the 4 hour. So you can see the initial break above the previous structure points. Now, if you're wondering the importance of that, the break of these structure points, that's telling us that buyers are still very much within the market and sellers are no longer even trying to make this a corrective move. This is now an impulsive move. So we can go from the swing lows here to the swing highs. And you can see we're resting right at that 38.2 fib ratio. Why is that important? Because anytime you have a level of structure, as you see right here, coinciding with a fib ratio, doesn't matter which one, right? If anybody's wondering which fib ratio should I be always looking to answer my trade off of, use them all. They're all just as important as the next. Now, I know everyone has this obsession with the 61.8, but when you have confluence being a level of broken structure that is being retested, let's write that down. Break of structure plus retest plus fib confluence. Why is that important? Because we're having multiple levels of confluence here. The break of structure, that candle right here, is showing us that the market is still very much bullish. It's creating a higher high and should indicate that, again, we should be looking for more buy entries. If we can see that, where would you probably want to buy from? Obviously a level of structure that also has a form of confluence, being that fib ratio. Is there anything else that we can add to make this a stronger buy idea? I'm gonna do it on the 1 hour just so that way you guys can see it a little bit easier. But if I go and try to add further confluence, I thought that might have actually, can I do it like that? Let me see how this looks on the 4 hour, on the 2 hour, 4 hour. So I'm not a big fan of cutting through. You're not even supposed to. You're not supposed to take a trend line and cut through candles in this way. But for the sake of confluence and perfect world education, if you will, I'm drawing my trend line like this. I'm not really cutting through candles. It is connected by a few points before there is a cut of a candle. So we have our first touch, second touch, and we have our third touch here, which is considered your trigger, where you would like to enter your initial trade. That would have been a great entry point because look, break a previous structure, test of that level. So what I'm looking at is this. We have the test of our trend lines. We have another one there. We'll just add that together. But we also have another touch here. So this is what I'm saying. The confluence at this level right now is extremely strong. We can see that we have broken, again, a level of previous structure, created a new high, retested that point, have fib confluence, and we also have our trend line acting as a barrier, or simply put, a dynamic level of support. Dynamic meaning that it is moving along with the market, right? So if I go ahead and I scale back down to a smaller time frame, actually, I know you guys like seeing the smaller time frame, like the 5 and the 15. I personally don't use it. I just want to see if there was any type of confluence on this. I don't really see it, honestly. But this right now, gold. I mean, there's really not much left to be said on this. We should be looking for strong buys, right? Let me go ahead and put that here. Strong buy area. Be sure, let me just make sure I remind myself. So I'm going to make sure that I post this in Discord for you guys as well, so that way you guys can see this later on. But there's a strong buy zone. Hey, bro, can you look at USD CAD, the current bias? What pair is this, bro? It says it. It literally says it. Guys, you got to look. You have to check. I'm giving you guys all the information and knowledge. You got to do some work too. It literally says it right up here, my man. It's gold. And I'm going to take, so real quick, philosopher, I am going to be taking a look at some markets, right? But the markets I'm going to be taking a look at are mostly because I personally need to mark these up and get a census of some charts, because these are going to be signals for students, and these are going to be put in our auto trader for students. So I will be looking at charts, but I'm not going to be, taking a bunch of requests at this moment, only because I was sick during the weekend. I was not able to get any work done as far as like charting up and really looking at the market. So this is my first time really checking some stuff. So right now, this is more along the lines for myself and my students, but you guys are obviously going to be getting tons and tons of education and knowledge as I go through with this. So if you guys are in fact getting a ton of knowledge and you are, really liking these sessions, they're impacting you in a positive way, maybe even helping you trade a little bit better, go ahead and like this video. Segue King, baby, let's go. Now, it was a beautiful little segue to ask you guys again. We are building this community through straight profits, value, and real education. I want to continue to impact people's lives in a positive manner. So if you guys could just help me help you, if you guys are actually getting any value education, I see a lot of you guys are returning viewers. Please go ahead, like this video, share it with individuals. Make sure that if they are a trader, they need help, that they're on these sessions. I'm not just sitting here looking, talking shit for, 3 hours and not really giving any value. I'm really helping you guys. So help me help you. Like the video, share it with others, allow other people to jump on. Let's build this community this year and see what we can do with it. I know for a fact, like even the majority of the, when I share charts and analysis with you guys, a lot of you guys hit me up and say, it really does help you guys. If you guys are not part of the Discord, make sure you're a part of it. The link is in the description for you guys. But yeah, I want to make sure that all these markups and everything help you guys. So definitely. So done with gold so far, and we'll come back to this only because there might be a trade that we can enter as we're on this call. I'm going to get rid of the fib. I'm going to get rid of a few things here. As you see here, now my chart doesn't really look like it has much, but as you see, I have an overall idea of what I'm looking for. I know right now gold is in a buy. So if I'm looking at gold buys, I want to identify the only thing I really want to identify is the entry point for me. This is just my personal discipline on how I trade. I understand the market is moving up. It's buying. It is bullish. I want to identify where those buys should be coming from. I understand that, again, just like we said, break of structure, all that jazz. I'm only missing the fib here because I just don't want my chart looking all crazy. But I know in my head that I'm at the 38.2. That's perfectly fine by me. What we can do is if this market, we can actually add this counter trend line. So this counter trend line, self-explanatory, it's going against the initial trend. It is a selling trend line in a bullish market. That could be an indication of strong continuation buys, where I'm obviously going to mark that up as our structure point or our resistance, because a break above that also confirms a strong idea for continued buys. So a breakout above that would really give us a strong idea as well. So we could do one of two things. One, if gold breaks above, can trade breakout or wait for retest. Two, and this is the option that I'm going to be looking for with you guys if in fact it does fruition while we're on this call. So if it reaches our support, we will buy there. Just a better risk to reward. I'll actually add that too. Better R&R. Because obviously if you want to buy something, you want to buy at the lowest point. So if we can get this market to actually come right back down here, then we can go ahead and look for our buys. Because if we were to go ahead and let's say, and please, obviously you can't even buy it from this point, but I know people will get confused. Let's say we did buy it there as it broke out, right? Let's say it does this, our stop loss would have to be at these lows. Or if we were to buy from here, our stop loss stays there, but it's a lot less risk for us. So I personally do believe if gold can, because the volatility should be picking up here during when New York session actually begins. We're still technically in the London session, or London leading into London layover. I can't even talk. I would at least look for buys at that point. So you're looking at two areas of potential trading opportunities with gold. So hopefully that helps. But a very simple idea. If you understand the market direction, where the money is going, you might want to continue in that direction as well. So that is my idea with gold. Let me see what you guys have in the chat. Hey, bro, can you look at AUD/USD? So like I said before, I'm looking at charts that I'm going to be trading. I'm going to be taking a look at a bunch of charts, but no requests right now. If you have a question about something, then yes, I can answer your question. But as far as like, look at US30, look at, not right now, only because I have not been able to put in the work needed for my students during the weekend, because I'm assuming I have COVID. I was really sick. I took a test that said positive, the next one said negative, but I'm sick, so I wasn't able to get some work done. So I'm looking at gold because this is something I personally trade. I'll be taking a look at GJ, some yen pairs. If I get around to those markets, absolutely, but right now, I take the education. But let me see if there's any trades that we can even place on this live, but more so I can send signals out to students and really put some trades in our auto trader for the week. I really want to make sure that my students are set, and obviously you guys are getting educated as well. Just joined. No, you're good, bro. You're good. No worries. I know you just joined. You're solid. Yeah. So if you guys can, what questions do you guys have? What is it that you guys need help with? I think that's the biggest struggle that everybody's like the questions. I feel like you guys don't know what to ask or what you need to learn. And the reason why I say that is because the questions I get are always the same. Try to think out the box. What is it that you need help with, right? What is it that you don't quite understand about trading? Not a market. Don't be like, how do you trade US30? It's the same thing. You're just marking it up. But what is it that you quite don't understand when it comes to trading? What's holding you back? What is it that's preventing you right now from becoming profitable within trading? I think that's the biggest thing. Don't worry about marking up a chart, because if you don't know how to mark, if I mark up a chart in front of you, you're all you're going to get is, okay, well, he's buying from there. Okay, if I was not on this session and nobody answered your question, you'd still be confused on what to do with gold. So what is confusing you? What prevents you from saying, well, damn, that looks like a good entry, or I don't know how to mark up my chart. What's the tools that's needed? Like things like that are really important for you guys to understand. Not about a chart, not about marking up a chart, because if you don't know how to mark up a chart and I'm just sitting here doing it, you're not learning anything unless you're sitting on a computer marking it up exactly the way I'm doing it as well. And again, for everybody who's just joining on, I apologize for the noises in the background. I have my EA running in the background, placing trades and stuff. So if you hear a bunch of noise, I apologize. But yeah, what I do want to take a look at rather is GJ, which is another market I personally like to trade a lot as well. So let me actually just delete everything. You guys can see, I personally like to delete my charts before I jump on with you guys so we can do everything in real time. So I'm just going to delete everything. But GJ is another market I personally love to trade. It's something that I've been trading. I think it was my first market where I think I would master, if you will. I was one of those people or those traders who believed in just trading one pair, and GJ was the pair for me to be trading all on its own. You say, I struggle with the time frames to look for support and resistance. Have you got any advice? Yes, just keep watching because that's literally all I do on these sessions. I'm literally just marking up. You see, I'm on the daily. And what am I going to do? I'm going to mark up structure. Why would I mark that as a structure point? Because that's support. I mean, it's not difficult, guys, right? So you say you struggle with time frames to look at support and resistance. It's not the time frame that's providing you the support and resistance. It's the support and resistance providing the support and resistance. There's nothing different. You're going to go the same way you mark up your structure on the daily is the same way you mark it up on the 5-minute. You're identifying peaks and valleys. This is a peak. That's a high point. This is a valley. It's a low point. I'm on the 5-minute time frame. My idea of marking up structure remains the same. There's no difference, right? I don't care what anybody says, or they're just like, oh, order block and order flow. You gotta have, no. You're literally, look at the candles. Look at it, right? Imagine you're crashing, or let's say you're just falling out the sky for some reason, right? That's a bad analogy, but hopefully nobody's falling out the sky. But let's say you reach this point, and you can see multiple times the market could not break through. Obviously, this is a big-ass price zone. I'm just trying to be specific. There's a lot of respect around this area. Why wouldn't you mark that down as a level of support? You know what I mean? All you're doing is finding the highs and lows. But for example, what are the best time frames to look at for support and resistance? All of them. Every time, whenever you're looking at all time frames. Why? Because you have to understand the overall market. Why am I on the daily, and why is this support zone important? Why would that be considered an important zone or a level of support on the daily time frame, for example, right? Why do you think that is? Because previously, multiple times, respect. Actually, we could label that as a level of respect. That was structure, got broken out of. This is the breakout. This is the respect. This is respect. This is respect. The reason why I'm on the higher time frame, or I start on the higher time frame, is because this is considered a what? PRZ, a potential reversal zone. So if I'm in a strong seller's market, actually we'll do this. Let's say right here, right? I'm in a strong seller's market. Obviously, we can see that. Boom. That's a strong bearish engulfing candle. So if I can see that, well, the first thing I'm going to understand is, well, if this is selling, it's probably going to sell to a specific point of reference, structure, right? Because before it had actions here. Price, actions, or actions are respect, break above, respect, or retest, respect. We can even, I mean, this did spike down much lower to even these lows, but it closed, it didn't close above, but still respected that point, right? You're identifying the structure points on the time frames that you, as an individual trader, are using. There's not one time frame better than the other. You shouldn't be using the 4-hour over the 1 hour and think that that's going to be, no. There's no such thing as the best of this and the best of that, or best time frame or best fib ratio. You're literally using what the market is leaving behind. That's it. You're not overcomplicating it. So again, if I just get rid of this replay, we can see what happened when we got there, right? Again, example. It wasn't there at that structure before, or it's not there, right? The price is moving towards there, but it's not there yet. But what happens when it actually gets there? Ooh, get rid of the replay. We get a form of respect. You mark that up. You have to identify that. Why? Because you're at a PRZ, potential reversal zone. That's important. Now, when you scale down, now the reason why that's important is because you're like, oh shit, well, I know right now I came down to a level of significant structure, PRZ. After a strong sell, it doesn't look like a strong sell anymore. Now you have a what? Double bottom. Why is that important? Because on a higher time frame, the stronger the confluence. So if I see a double bottom on a daily, a weekly, a monthly, that's a pretty strong reversal pattern at a potential reversal zone. Make sense? So when we go here, we look even further. Where would I mark my resistance? Would I mark my resistance all the way up here? Hell no. What's the point in doing that right now? There's no sense and point in trying to mark up a resistance where it's not there as of yet. Will it reach that point? I believe so. You know what I mean? Because that's a significant level of resistance. It's a high point. But are we immediately going to say that, oh, well, it's going to reach that point? Absolutely not. Because we have other levels of structure. Now check this out. I'm on the daily time frame. I'm marking this up as a level of resistance. This is why I say it doesn't matter about the time frame. Fuck the time frame. What you need to focus on is if you're looking at support and resistance, just mark it up as you see it. This is a level of resistance, and I'm finding this on the daily time frame. When I scale down to the 4 hour, it's still the same resistance. When I scale down to the 1 hour, it's still the same resistance. It's not about the time frame. It's about identifying those peaks and valleys, those highs and those lows. So if I see right now on the daily time frame, this is a level of current resistance. I'm on the 4 hour. Doesn't matter. If I get rid of everything, if I'm on the 4 hour instead of the daily, we can still see this is a level of resistance. This is a level of support. No rocket science needed, no math, no nothing, no indicators. You're just here to support. Hey, my man Jay, what's good, brother? I appreciate J99. I'm not too sure. I know a lot of J's. I'm Jay myself, but I appreciate the support. I really do. Growing this community is really important for me. As you guys see, I'm really helping you guys and giving as much information as I possibly can. So this is going to benefit you guys as much as it's going to not even benefit me. I don't even get paid to do this. So you guys are getting a lot of education. I get nothing from it, but I do love teaching. I do love interacting. So it helps me regardless. So I appreciate the support. But again, as you see here, daily time frame, 4 hour time frame, you can find this. I mean, I wouldn't say you find the same. You're not going to find the same structure. But the reason why I'm saying this is I don't want you getting too caught up on like, okay, well, he's marking up on the weekly and then on the no, I'm marking up as I see, right? I'm not going to look for anything too specific when I'm looking for structure because there's nothing really specific needed. You're identifying where the market has made moves from before. This was a low point previously. You identified that as your level of support. This was a resistance and currently still is a level of resistance. You go ahead and you identify that as a potential sell zone. Why am I saying that? Because I do think that, and I'm looking at this for a potential signal and auto trade for legacy. And if I do actually place this trade for legacy students, I'll be sure to share the signal with you guys as well to start the week off great. But again, I'm marking my level of structure based off the peaks and valleys that I find, the clues that the market is leaving behind. So again, what am I looking at? This was a level of resistance. That is a high point. I don't care about this right here, this down here as of yet, because we're not there yet, but I'm going to leave it there so that way we understand this is a ranging market. Why is that important? The reason why this is important that we identify this as a ranging market is because any time after a strong move like this, right, as you can see, this is a strong impulsive bearish move, you're going to get that initial correction. We had that initial correction happening. Now, what usually ends up happening is if there is if the market is trying to continue to trend or move in a direction rather, it's going to have to build up the needed momentum and volatility for it to make its next big move, especially if it wants to continue to push much lower, because it's not just going to easily break a level of daily and weekly support. So if I'm looking at anything, what we can do with GJ is look for potential sells at where we're currently at, in my honest opinion. We're also looking as if we're creating a very small head and shoulders pattern. And if you don't believe that this head and shoulders pattern is not relevant, they have an entire tool here of a head and shoulders pattern here on TradingView. So very important. So I'm looking at something like this, right? Oh, didn't mean that, but I'll just draw it out like this. So we're at a level of strong resistance. We can see that the market has, in fact, before anything, given us the rejection from this level that we need. These three candles right here. If you guys do not know what these three candles stand for, you need to go check. I'm actually going to give you guys this. Google Images candlestick cheat sheet and download one, because that is important. Anytime we're at a level of structure, we're at resistance, right? And you start getting candlestick variance or bearish, in this case bearish, it's not always gonna be bearish, obviously you get bullish at times too. Excuse me. But excuse me. Oh, so sick, still sucks, but hopefully I don't sound too crazy on the session for you guys. I know my voice is kind of fucked up, but hopefully I don't sound too sick. But anytime I'm at a level of significant structure, we're at resistance, and I start to see candlestick variants, in this case, bearish candlestick reversal patterns at a level of significant structure, that's telling me that this is probably no longer bullish and could potentially become bearish. Now, we don't know that as of yet because it hasn't developed into the actual head and shoulders pattern, which will look like this, right? Once I get something like that, then I'll go ahead and start looking for sells. If anybody's like, Jay, why wouldn't you sell it right now? It's already respected that level of structure or that resistance point, because right now in the daily time frame, this is kind of showing some heavy buys, right? So I don't want to sell into a market when the market is showing some pretty significant buys. So we have to allow this. This is why Mondays are used to analyze, predict or see where you think some potential trade setups may be. There's obviously going to be trades on a Monday, but in the sense of volatility, especially right now when the market is about to be heading into New York session, we're not going to get too much movement. But if we start to see this even break above, not give us that head and shoulders pattern, I'll disregard from the sells. But right now, I do think GJ, looking at this, we'll be looking at some pretty good selling opportunities. I'm marking this as our level of support on the 1 hour time frame, right? You see, I'm just using the time frame, or I'm using the structure I'm finding based off of this time frame. I'm not basing my structure, oh, well, this is, no. This is the 1 hour time frame. This is showing me the level of structure on this time frame. I'm using that, right? Because this is market structure. You can see, there's higher highs over here, but just to give you an example, we're creating higher highs, higher lows, right? So this very much can be a level of support, potentially even buy from there. But if not, we're going to be looking for sales. I might actually go ahead and sell this just for fun. Let me actually see something real quick. So what I'm doing, I'm just looking at my little strategy here to see if there's any real potential idea. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and remove indicators. There we go. I'm going to go ahead. I'm be really stupid. I'm going to place a small sell just so I remember about this, because sometimes I'll be forgetting shit. But if anything, I'd personally be looking for a lot of buys. I do think that this market is going to be turning back into buys. But let's see if we could ride this down in the event that it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, this is really setting up to look like a nice little head and shoulders pattern. Could look something like that and then drop lower, or even just immediately drop lower, and then we can come back in for that retest. So I'm going to go ahead. Where's my phone at? Where is my phone? Oh, there it is. I'm over here looking for my phone so I can look at comments and stuff, and I can't even find it. But I'm going to go place a trade here. Again, this is really dumb because I'm not even letting this develop. I should be letting this actually trade a little bit more, show us a little bit more of an idea for sells, especially when we're in a buyer's market. But I'm taking a huge risk here only because I want to see if this does turn out to be our head and shoulders pattern. And I'll share a little trick with you guys and the reason why I'm placing this sell. So here's a trick with head and shoulders patterns, right? If you have a head and shoulders pattern, it's being because the level of resistance here was, they thought that they were going to break above. They tried, they attempted, but as you see here, it comes crashing right back below. That's the head of the pattern. When you have the head of the pattern, that's considered a fake out. This sometimes is not really the true resistance. What sometimes is the true resistance is that left shoulder price right here, right? That's a significant level of structure because that's like that the market said, I'm trying to break above. I'm trying to create a higher high. This high was trying to get higher. Oh, that's not a good analogy either. This is a higher high than this high here, right? I don't want to be like, he's higher than this guy. No, that's terrible. But yeah, you can see that this attempted to create a higher high, but it could not close above that high point. So it usually ends up happening, and you kind of see it with this candle. I'll get rid of this really fast. You kind of see it happening with this candle. It reaches that point, and it asks itself, do I really want to break above? Is the grass really greener on this side? And eventually the left shoulder being used as its resistance point says, nah, you're good. It continues to fall or end up developing into that head and shoulders pattern. So I'm basing my entry off of the slightest idea, because there is no development of this being a head and shoulders pattern. It's really dumb for me to do this, but I'm just doing this in the sense that let's say it does develop into our little head and shoulders pattern. This will be a really good entry point for us to look for sells. So you do not, and I repeat, you do not have to place this trade. It is not, important, or it's honestly risky, because I would let this develop into something a little bit more. But I'm going to go ahead, be really stupid, place a sell here, and see how this works out for us. Where is my... I'm over here losing my mind. There it is. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead, place this trade really quick. No, I'm not using a gigantic lot size, because if I'm not confident on a trade, especially with not letting it fully develop, also the risk to reward is basically 1 and 1, because our stop loss is going right above these highs, being this the previous high here. And then obviously our take profit has to be at that first level of structure, which is 65 pips. Obviously, if that's broken, I wouldn't even have a take profit. I just hold on to that for dear life until we reach back down to these lows. But again, you do not have to place this trade. This is really dumb. This is a really dumb trade. Once I will let you guys know, like when I feel confident on something, and then I'll let you guys know, yeah, use a big lot size. If you are going to place this trade, do not use a big lot size, and understand the risk behind it. It's not even developed yet, but I do like the concept, the idea. But yeah, let's see how that works out. I'm not putting that on the auto trader just yet, obviously, because the risk behind it. I'm not going to risk students' money if I don't feel confident on the trade. I'm doing this as a personal setup to see how this works out. And then obviously, if we start getting further confirmations, we start getting more respect here. Candlesticks start showing more rejection from this point. We start getting more wicks to the upside. I'll go ahead and place a signal for students, and maybe even the trade in the auto trader for you guys. So CAD CHF buy, it's at a strong support. Do you see the same thing? You tell me, Kyle. It doesn't matter what I think. If you as an individual can call a spade, call it a fucking spade. You know what I mean? That's where the psychology comes into play when you guys are trading. You have to be confident with what you're looking at. If not, then you're probably wrong. If you don't feel confident, go back, double check, right? You have to be able to tell yourself, like, yeah, I see this. This is what's happening. If not, go back to the drawing board. But CAD CHF, if we have the time, I'll take a look at that in a bit. But again, what I'm doing is I'm identifying some really good trade opportunities. I haven't been able to mark up the charts during the weekend because I'm sick. And I'm feeling much better. So what I'm doing right now is my due diligence for students. I'm making sure that I'm identifying the best best trading opportunities. And then obviously, so that way I can put our auto trader in for our signals. But you guys are getting the full education breakdown on why we'll be placing these trades, what trades we'll be placing as well. Not all of them, obviously, because once I jump off from here, I do obviously stay on the charts. I make sure that I'm identifying more, allow the markets to develop, and then looking for our trade setups. But right now, I personally have placed a sell on GJ. I might go ahead. Let me see what it looks like on a smaller time frame. Okay, I didn't mean to move that. Even here on the 5 minute, which is a time frame I don't necessarily use a lot, but I just want to see if there's any further confluence here. Even on the 5 minute, we're getting that bearish confluence. Oh, there we go. Now it wants to work. There we go. So we're still getting bearish confluence. We're getting that bearish engulfing candle, and also it has no wick. Let me get rid of this really quick. This bearish engulfing candle right here has no wick to the upside or to the downside. Why is that important? Because that is a strong significant level of rejection. When a candlestick is definite, when a candlestick or a market is for sure about its movement, a candle will show little to no wick to the upside or downside. In this case, no wick to the upside and downside. Like it's giving us both. Usually it's one or the other. So this is another strong indication actually on the 5 minute, excuse me, where GJ looks great for some potential sells. So it looks pretty good right now. I forgot where we initially entered, but right now that looks pretty decent. So if you guys were able to place this as a trade, again, be very, very careful. This is still very risky. I think our entry's somewhere around here. But this is what my trade setup is going to look like, or looks like rather. I'm going to place it. That's my first take profit. Can't spell today. Take profit's 1. And then obviously, if that breaks, your take profit's all the way down there. that's self-explanatory. You wouldn't even have to worry about putting it to take profit. You just take profits whenever you feel happy with your profits in general. But this is what I'm looking at, and I will, if this continues to look good for us, for any legacy students that are on, I'll make sure that I put this in the auto trader for you guys and send a signal with the credentials as well. But yeah, let's see if there's anything else we can identify. It's really important that, you know, you guys understand when I say this is a stupid trade, I shouldn't be doing this, that you guys understand that risk and don't go crazy. Don't be putting standards in $50 accounts. Don't try to, you know, what kids say is flip accounts. You're not flipping anything. You're compounding an account professionally so that way you can have 6 figures at the end of the year, right? When you start saying you want to flip an account, that means you're being way too risky. You're over leveraging and potentially blowing an account. So what we're going to do is we're going to use proper risk. We're going to allow this to develop into something even more, right? Once I get further confirmations, then I'll go ahead and, if I feel confident with it, place a way bigger lot size to make the profits I feel like I deserve with this. So if you guys are placing this, be very careful. But let me see what else you guys got. Nothing so far. 27 people on this morning. Hey, kind of growing. I appreciate, for everybody who's on right now, I highly appreciate every last one of you guys. We've been growing this community very, I would say, steadily, and in a very professional manner. So I definitely appreciate everyone who's currently on. For every return viewer, if you guys have been on since I've been doing these for the past 2-3 weeks now, I appreciate you as well. You guys are absolutely fucking amazing. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at with GJ so far. Obviously, if take profits 1 is broken, we will, let me actually do that as well, just so that way nobody's confused. If this structure is, can't spell, is broken, we hold on for dear life, because that's money right there. So I will come back to GJ here in a second. I'll take a look at some other charts. I want to see if there's any, I want to go back to gold, actually, see if there's anything that we can look at with that, to see if there's potential entry. So let me just double check. Okay, just still chilling around that area. So I'm just seeing if we can find gold to come right back down to this level of structure that we have here. If we do, being the structure, the trend line, just our technical standpoints here, I'll be looking for entries here too. So no trade on this. Please, nobody go ahead and buy this. If it reaches back down to this point, I'll be looking for buys around this area. So I'm putting this here. Obviously, there's no entry on it, but I'm putting that there so that way I know when I jump onto the chart what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh shit, I was looking for a buy based off my analysis that I have here. So let me continue to have that same idea. So that's why I'm looking at it in this manner. So let me see what else you guys got. What's good? Build your legacy. I appreciate you guys. I'm new here, Rod. I appreciate you. Good vibe and education here. Always, always, always. I'm always trying to educate. I'm always trying to make sure that you guys are learning. And again, becoming the most profitable person you can be. If I knew that I knew how to trade, I would say within like the first 2 years, I would have been much more profitable. And the reason why I say that is because everything I'm doing now is exactly what I'm doing since day one. I just had no idea I was doing it correctly. So what I want you guys to see is how easy trading could be if you just use, and I'm not saying this to sound disrespectful, but if you just use common sense, you will always you will be profitable within trading. You're not always going to win every trade, but more times than none, you're going to be profitable with the entries and the trades that you make. So I just came back to gold real quick to see what that was doing. Let me take a look at USD/JPY. And for people asking for specific pairs right now, I'm not taking any requests at the moment. Again, because I need to mark up charts for my students. I got to make sure that I'm finding trading opportunities for Auto Trader and for our signals. So I'm just identifying some specific charts that I want to right now. Not sound like mean or greedy. It's just I got to make sure that, you know, since I didn't get any work done this weekend for being sick, that I get everything done now. So what I'm doing right now is basically what I'd be doing if nobody was watching. If nobody was on a live with me right now and I'm doing my own personal individual trading, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just educating and showing you guys as well. What do you think about all this SMC and ICT stuff? Smart money concept. So this is the thing, right? And this is not to belittle any strategy. If it makes money, it makes sense. Let's start off with that, right? Because I don't want anybody thinking I'm bashing strategies. I'm not. If it makes money, it makes sense. Like I have a really dumb looking strategy that looks like this, right? A lot of people say, Jay, that doesn't work. Okay. You know what I mean? It works. If it makes money, it makes sense. But my thing with like smart money concepts, ICT trading, there's no such thing as bank like interference, or I'm not a huge advocate of order flows, or the banks are selling from here. They got all their liquidity grab, liquidity. That's not a real thing. Everything is based around actual price, right? So and this is real shit. So back in 1980s and when they didn't have computers, what do you think they used in order for them to identify trading opportunities? And it's stocks as well, but we're talking about Forex. They use price. So every strategy that is out right now is based around the concept of price action, market structure, right? What is like an order block is, if I'm correct, this would be considered an order block, right? I could be wrong. I don't trade that stuff, but this would be considered somewhat of like what people would consider an order block, where banks have all their money and they got all these limit orders. People think that it looks like this with limit orders. They got all that volume in that structure point. No, that's not true, right? Everything is going to be based around actual price action, support, resistance, trend lines, Fibonacci's, whatever, candlesticks, right? You're going to be using those tools, those clues to trade. Same thing with ICT. So yeah, I call it legacy line. Actually, it's pretty dope. I traded a completely different way than that actual strategy though. I don't really like the way that they use it. I use it completely different. I have my own like entry setups based off of how the moving averages with price action. It's all based around price action. Without it, I don't use it. Just like, I mean, that's a good segue as well. Like, I don't even use my own personal little strategy that I've worked and developed over time unless it's around price action, some form of structure. If it works though, it makes sense. I know there are a lot of people who trade smart money concepts, who trade market maker method. I believe in those things. Those things are great, but you don't need to have, like, again, you don't need to have this weird ass looking strategy that looks like this. You don't have to have all these crazy bells and whistles in order to be profitable. If you understand where the market has made moves before, it's going to make moves again. So you always want to be very, very, very keen on that. But that's my take on it. Any use learning it. I think any education is good. You know what I mean? Because if I'm saying I don't like smart money concept, that's my personal preference. Next thing you know, you go learn it and you love it and you start killing it. Learn everything. There's nothing wrong with learning as much as you can when it comes to trading. Let me go to EURUSD real quick. I didn't see anything on EU or UJ. So this is what I really wanted to see. All right, so let me talk about EURUSD really quick, because this is something that could definitely give us some good profits. So real quick, we have a lot of people on right now. I just want to extend my gratitude to everybody. Before we only had like 5-10 people. Now we're growing, and that's amazing. That's to you guys. I appreciate it. Just for that, actually, if you guys want, go ahead into the Discord or join our Discord. Since we are seeing a lot more people, a lot more movement, go ahead and join the Discord. I'll be sure to put not just the analysis, I'll make sure I send some signals there for you guys as well. Just as my token of appreciation to everybody who's been joining the sessions, who's been returning viewers, who's been growing this community very steadily. But I definitely appreciate you guys. I'll make sure that I give you guys some more profits as my appreciation. We might have one here too as well though. I'm looking at EU. Let me actually go on to a higher time frame. So as you can see, I'm on the daily time frame here on EURUSD. Now there's a few things that we got to take into consideration being on the daily. But the biggest thing, you're a real G, bro. I've been following you back since like 2018. Glad to see you still killing these markets. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Damn, you've been following for a while. That's crazy. That started in 2015, 2016, if I'm correct. It's been a while, but I appreciate you, man. I definitely do. So again, I'm on the daily time frame. I'm understanding the overall market movement. Let me actually go to the weekly. I know if I look at the weekly time frame, if I look from these highs, my tools don't want to work. If I go from these highs to these lows, that's telling me a strong bearish market, which it is. But what we can do is also understand the immediate market. The immediate market is bullish, right? So right now, the EURUSD is very much in a bullish market. It's very much trending upwards. We can see the breaks of previous structure here. So we created a new high, this being the new high point, right? That candle is a breakout creating the new high. So let me just do this. So I'm giving you guys, I'm literally, hold on, where is it? There it is. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this as if, again, nobody's watching, I'm trading on my own. I'm identifying key factors to prove to me that this is or should be considered a continued buy. So we have a break equaling a higher high, being not just this being a higher high, but this being a higher high, right? This whole impulsive move is that high point. What we can do is also scale to a smaller time frame. I know on the daily I don't have too much. I don't need too much because I know if I look left to get right, the only place I'd be looking to maybe look for sells is around that area. We're not there yet, right? We're not at a significant level of structure. So to me, I feel the market is going to be gravitate towards this point, meaning that it should continue to buy to that area. So 50% of my work here is done because I know that right now the current immediate trend from these lows to these highs is buying. I know overall it's bearish, but right now the market is giving us some strong buys up until a significant level of structure, right? So I scaled down. I'm going to use another time frame to give me further analysis, another idea, right? The daily is saying buy. I need the 4 hour and the 1 hour to also tell me the same thing. So when I scale down to the 4 hour, what can I see? Now we're using this time frame's structure, right? Because I know somebody was asking that, what time frame should I be marking my structure up on? All of them, right? Because we know on the daily, if we go back, there's really not much for us to gauge on here. We can't start drawing trend lines. Like, I don't want to see you guys doing this shit. I mean, that could be relevant in the future, but that's not relevant to us right now. I don't care about that trend line. I see a lot of people, you guys are still, oh, but this down here, how are you making money off of that right now? That's long gone. Anything over here, don't worry about. So I don't mark up anything from 200 BC and beyond, because if I can't make money, then it makes no sense. But what I can do is, again, understand the direction of the market, scale down to a smaller time frame if I cannot get any further data or analysis or information from that time frame. I scale down. Now you get to see something a little bit easier, right? What can we see here? The market makes the same moves over and over and over again. Break equals a higher high. I literally just took what we had over there, just put it right up here. It broke above. Where's the break? Look at the candles here. This is the break. How can I tell? Well, is this point higher than this point here? It definitely is. Hopefully that's starting to help you guys see things a little bit better, right? I know that probably just snapped in somebody's, that clicked for somebody right now. It had to have, right? Because on the daily time frame, we really couldn't see that. And on the daily, it is leaving a wick to the upside. But check this out. If everybody's like, but Jay, there's a wick to the upside, that's a level of rejection. It could be. But we also have 8 hours for this candle to close. So it still has a lot of time for it to use this level of structure where it's at to look for buys. So what I'm going to be doing with Euro USD, and I'll make sure that I put this in the Discord for you guys. I think it's important that I share the analysis with you all as well. Again, if you're not in the Discord, the description or the link to it is in the description below. I'll be sharing all my analysis, and I'll be keeping you guys updated with any and all videos and lives as well. So if you're not a part of it, go into the description. Definitely be a part of it. So again, I'm looking right now. Let me actually go into the 2 hour. So right now, EU looks like a nice buy is setting up, which is great because that correlates with what we're looking at with gold. So let me go ahead and let me see on the 4 hour real quick. Okay. So I'm looking through different time frames to see where I'm measuring with my fibs from. So I'm going to go from these lows to these highs. So we're going to let this chill a little bit. It's not at a fib ratio yet. It broke below the 38.2. It has not reached the 50% as of yet. I will let this market see if it can push down a little bit more. Literally just a little bit more, because I want this to at least come and touch that 50% retrace ratio, giving us an actual level of an actual form of confluence and another level of support. So on EU, this is a strong buy zone. No entries on this as of yet, though. Right? Because I do think that if this market can, in fact, come back down just a little bit more, we might have a really good entry for some potential buys. Now, if my analysis is, broken, or the structure's broken, the trend line, everything's broken, then obviously we're not going to be looking for any buys. We're going to be changing our general analysis. Let me just see if there's any other way I could. I'm very strict with how I mark up my charts. Okay, so that does work. So all I'm doing right now is making sure that my trend line is accurate, being that when I jump onto the 4-hour time frame, or any time frame rather, because I know on some time frames like the 1 hour, 2 hour, I'm cutting through some of these candles. But what you cannot cut through candles with a trend line, but you can cut through the wicks, right? You can cut through the wicks of a market with your trend line, because that's what are wicks. Wicks are a level of rejection. It shows you that this support zone here held pretty good. You can even see the wicks over here showing that this was a level of resistance until it wasn't, and it came right back down, and you can see it's being respected there. So I want to see the same happening at this point too. So let's see if Euro USD can spike down just a little bit and give us a better entry. And this is what my trade setup would look like. Obviously, there is no trade setup on it yet, but it's literally going to look something like this. With EU something like this, I wouldn't put my stop loss all the way down here past that low. That's a little bit too much. I would at least use my minimum. Oh, that might be same. Okay, yeah. So my bare minimum of 50 pips stop loss, and then your first take profit is 62. So it's not a great risk to reward at that time, but if that's broken, obviously your risk to reward gets much better as it reaches that significant structure point. So I'm going to be looking at Euro USD potential buys. Obviously, there is no entry on this yet, but if I, excuse me, if I do go ahead and start looking for entries on this and send a signal out for students to put in the auto trader, I'll be sure to actually share this with you guys as well. Again, just as a token of my appreciation, you guys have been amazing. You guys have been coming on to these sessions pretty much every day with me, helping grow in this community as well. So I highly appreciate it. So I'll be sure to share this with you guys as analysis and also as a signal if there is an entry for it. Let me go back to gold real quick. But yeah, questions, anything you guys got? I want to make sure that I'm answering questions. I'm not really too concerned about what charts you guys want to see. We're probably going to see it anyway, because I'm going to be marking up some more markets up anyway. So yeah, what questions do you guys have? What is it that's preventing you from being profitable in trading? What is it that you specifically need help with that will help you become profitable? Make your own trades. Because the one thing I always tell my students is, not even me, there's no platform, there's no person, there's no system that's going to make you more money than you can make yourself. And that comes through the confidence that you build from executing, from actually trading. So what are some things that I can help you with, or anybody with, to really get to that next level? Because the question I always get is, what broker do you use in US30, buy or sell, up or down? I'm like, you got to look at it. If you take a look at a chart and you start asking yourself questions like, damn, what should I do? Let me know what those type of questions are. So that way I can really speak on some relevance and really help anybody who really needs it. I know a lot of you guys kind of have an understanding of what to be doing or what to look for. I think what you need is that extra confidence booster, if you will. So if there's any question that you have and you're not quite sure about, let me know. And if I can help, I definitely will. I want to install that confidence, that psychological aspect for you guys, because that's a big barrier for a lot of people too, I believe. I think a lot of people just have such a, they're scared to lose money, and I understand that. But, you're not going to ever get better if you don't experience and execute and, really put yourself into the position of, should I trust my analysis? Should I trust my trades? Because you definitely should. So let me see. Oh, what's good? All right. See a lot of people just typing in the chat, just thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right, let me see. These live sessions is the best. Watching other YouTube videos isn't enough. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've seen... I see there are a lot of other, live traders. They're definitely trading right now. I've emulated, I would say, the platform or system, if you will, off of them as well. I mean, if they're successful, why not, kind of mimic what they do as well? But they're not doing anything. They're not teaching. They're not educating. When people ask a question, they just disregard it. I've watched them for a bit just so that way I can see how my stream should compare and almost be better, or I'm attempting to try to be better. So yeah, you're actually getting real education from here. I'm not just on the fucking 15-minute with some dude, like on the 15-minute time frame with some dude on Zoom, just talking mess, and no, I'm really helping you guys. I'm really also trying to find some really good entries for students. So you guys are getting a lot. You guys are getting a lot of information. I'll take a look at cryptos here, or Bitcoin rather, in a second as well. Let me go to USD CAD. Oh, that's a nice one. So if I'm correct, we sold this last week. I know one of the traders sold this last week, which if they're watching, I apologize, but I might have to fire the 2 traders. I fucking literally just hired 2 traders, and I got to fire them. If you guys are watching, that might be, that might be it. I don't know if you guys are watching. I apologize if that's how you got to find out this way, but got to fire 2 traders. But I know one of them did actually go ahead and place a really nice sell, if I'm correct from there, and I think he caught that entire move. Are you live every day? Yes, I am live every single day, Monday through Friday. It might just be Monday through Thursday, only because Fridays I might want to do something special with students. Depending on how things look, I might have to, keep Fridays for students as well. But yeah, so far Monday through Friday, always going to be on. Man, I cannot become profitable. I think I'm placing key levels wrong. I also don't wait for retests. How could I improve? Just like you said, wait, be patient. Right? You're not just like, I know I'm stupid right now for going to GJ and looking for sells. Like, that is the dumbest thing I could have done. I'm not being patient. I'm literally just basing an entry off of something that I personally trade, like the behalf of a head and shoulders pattern. But should anyone be doing something like this? No, absolutely not. Patience is the biggest thing, right? The biggest thing with trading is that patience, right? Let's actually use Euro USD as an example. Let me get rid of this. There's no entry on this. I don't want anybody buying that right now. But like with Euro USD, right? I'm at a key level. I'm at a level of resistance. Or I'm sorry, support rather. It was a level of resistance. Now it is a newfound level of support. Am I immediately going to go ahead and just, buy? No, absolutely not. Because what could end up happening, and it might happen with GJ. GJ is very bullish. I place a risky trade. But let's say you buy right now and that shit just comes right back down, disregarding all of your analysis and possibly even just saying, you know what, that's not the buy zone. This is the buy zone again, right? You allow the market to show you, to develop and really tell you like, yo, all right, it's time to buy. Especially right now, it's 8:30. The New York session has officially begun. We should be getting a lot of volatility, right? Because New York session, London layover. So if anything, you have to allow the markets to really show you. Let it get to your key level, right? Let it get to the point where you're like, okay, well, it's there, it's at my spot. And you start to now get those indications, your candlestick patterns, your confluences such as fibs. If there was a trend line here, obviously there isn't, right? We can't just add a trend line and make it look like it's cool. But if there was more confluence there, then you're going to go ahead and say, well, now it's time to trade. But you're not just immediately going to say, well, it's at my zone, time to buy. No, absolutely not. So the biggest thing for you is patience. And I know that sucks because we want money now. We want 6 figures. We want 7 figures right now. But that's where you fucking blow your account. That's when you start over leveraging. That's when you get married to a trade. Don't get married at all, by the way. But let's say you go ahead and you buy here. Right? This is what, I mean, it's happened to me before too when I first started trading. Let's say you buy there and the market pushes lower. Then you buy again and again. And you're just stacking onto a trade that's never going to be profitable. So you always want to, 1, be patient, allow the market to truly develop into your analysis. And 2, I mean, it goes with patience, but really let the market show you that it is an opportunity. Don't just go into the market and be like, oh, it's going to buy. No. The market has to show you. If it's not showing you, there's no entry. That's the biggest thing. And as far as like you said, also wait for the retest. How would I improve? Yeah, I mean, that's the only way. Based off of that question, to improve that is literally just be patient. I know you said you're not patient, but if you stay patient just a little bit longer, you will become profitable. Obviously, there's more to trading, but in your case, what you're asking, hopefully that helps. But yeah, you actually have to be patient. There's really no other, way of answering that. Now, if you're wondering, if you're asking like, so how do I stay patient? I wish I could tell you. You know what I mean? That's the question of the year, right? How do I become more patient? I wish I could tell you. The one thing I would say is, if you mark up a chart, and let's say you're at your entry point, go take a walk. Go do something. Come back an hour or 2 later, see what the market is doing. Make yourself busy. Get your mind off of the charts. You know what I mean? Check periodically. You don't have to check every second because that does nothing but stress you out even more. But let's say you're at your level, you go to dinner, whatever, you come back, you're like, oh shit, it's still there. It's at my structure point. I've let it develop. You didn't even have to be patient. You just not forgot about it, but you're not letting it be the topic that you think about all fucking day. Because that sometimes does, if you're thinking about trading too much, you're just going to force yourself to place trades that aren't there. So sometimes I think you just might have to be patient and just get yourself distracted for a little bit. And that'll help with the patience. How long your stream will last? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't tell you. You can ask me something about trading though, and I got you. I'll get into that. But let me see what else. So I'm gonna do some. So I might be looking for some buys here on Euro USD. So let me actually go ahead, put this in the Discord for you guys, so that way I personally do not forget. So let me do this. Strong break. I'll take this away. Can't even talk. I'm like feeling better, but still sick, and is not allowing me to speak correctly. But all right, let me make sure I put this into the Discord for you guys. Strong buy zone. I'll put if respected. Right. If broken, clearly we do not buy. So let me go ahead and put this here. Actually, I'll put it on this side so that way you guys can see the fib ratios as well. I don't want to block that. So strong buy zone. Again, if this level of structure is respected, we will be looking for buys around that area. There is no buys as of yet. So if there is, I'll be sure to put that out for you guys. 1 hour, 2 hour. Actually, I'll put it on the 1 hour. And that looks like it's coming down nice for us. So if this does look like a good trade, I'll be sure to give you guys the actual signal for it. Let me go ahead and put this in the Discord for you. Just give me 1 second. You guys are watching me do this, so I'm pretty sure you guys can be patient. So I'm going to do this. Just so that way nobody is left out, nobody forgets. Let me just go ahead, make this all fancy for you guys. Boop. And let's go Euro USD analysis from live session. And I'll add that for you guys. I'll make sure that I add the GJ trade as well. And gold. Ooh, look at that. Gold looking nice. I want to see if that can come back down to that level of structure. Again, if not, if this is broken, we don't look for any buys, and we don't look for buys on EU as well. But looking very good for us so far. Let me go to GJ real quick, see if there's anything there. Just still chilling around that point. Not bad. Let me see what else you guys got. No, I mean, usually your stream lasts one. I don't know. I can't tell you. Sometimes it could be an hour. Sometimes it could be 15 minutes. It really depends on you guys. The more people we have on these calls, the longer I will stay on, the more value and knowledge I will give, and the more questions I will answer. So far, so good. I've been on for over an hour now because we actually have a lot of people on. 26 people doesn't seem like a lot to you guys, but I've just started doing this, live trading stuff, or not live trading, live sessions on YouTube, if you will, live trading on here, I guess. Like 3 weeks ago, starting of the new year. So that's the reason why I'm still on right now, because we are growing the community. So the more people, the more I stay on. If we had 1,000 people on this shit, I'd stay on all day. So it really depends on you guys. It also depends. I'm gonna take a quick look real quick. If you guys haven't, if you guys can, please like this video. It definitely helps, right? It really does help. As you see, I'm dropping as much knowledge and gems as I possibly can. If you guys can like this video, it'll mean the world to me if you haven't already. I see right now we have a bunch of likes. That's beautiful. If you guys want to subscribe, that's cool too. I'm going to be doing a lot more content for you guys. As I was saying earlier, I am testing out some free EAs. Anybody could download these from this website. I'm only testing them out just for fun, just to see if there are some free EAs that actually work. And I'll be putting out the results in a nice little YouTube series for you guys. With the information on all of that in the event that you guys want to take advantage of it as well. So if you guys want to subscribe to stay up to date with that stuff, by all means, feel free to do so. A lot of content, a lot of value, a lot of knowledge is going to come from here. So I appreciate you guys in advance. All right, so let me see. Like this video, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, bro. But yeah, what else? Let me see. Somebody said CAD CHF. So no longer is that a sell kill zone. So this is what I mean about allowing your charts to truly develop. And it's good that we left this structure here too. Look at that. Same structure. We didn't change anything. So when I was looking for a sell here, it did not actually sell. It continued to buy. And it came right back down to the zone, to the price point that was previously respected. No strategy needed. As you see here, I just left the structure point there, and the market came right back down to that zone to respect it. I mean, everything is going to revolve around the most significant and relevant price points within the market. And this is a strong example of that. So for the person who was asking about CAD CHF, that's not a sell anymore. You're probably looking for buys. Trying to see, there we go. So yeah, you can even see connected point, connected point, connected point. So you got 3 triggers or 3 touches, and then you have your break. Basically a break and a retest of that zone too. So yeah, CAD CHF looking pretty bullish. So that means USD CAD probably going to be looking for continued sells. Let me go back to gold. I'm just doing some quick maths real quick. I just want to see what's going on with some of these charts. Obviously, there's no trade on this. If this is broken, what time is it? We got 21 minutes left on this. Okay. So depending on how this zone reacts, we might be getting some buys on gold. Obviously not yet. We're not looking for any buys as of yet, but this can be a strong buy zone. So let's keep this in consideration. If it's broken, then we throw that analysis out. We start looking for ourselves. Let me go back to EU. Okay. So this is why we do not immediately go ahead and start placing trades, because what can end up happening is, let's say again, let's say if we did place that buy. Again, please nobody buy this as an example. This is not a trade, right? EU coming down to fill that gap. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see that gap, to be honest. I see that now. I gotta put my contacts in. Oh, I did see it on the 4-hour actually, and I didn't even mention that. See, I'm not I mean, they do, but in the sense of like gap trading, I don't really think that's a valid thing too much. I mean, it does come back to those zones or that area before, but the reasoning behind, there's 2 reasons why gaps happen in the Forex markets, right? One, because during the weekend, it's not that the market is closed, it's the broker. The broker is the one that's closed. So you're not going to be able, the broker's not going to show you the price fluctuation that's happened during the weekend, right? But when the market or the broker opens back up, you get that gap because during the weekend, that's where price went. And the broker is just catching back up to show the valid price. So it doesn't necessarily mean it has to come back and close that gap. Absolutely not. I've seen gaps that probably still aren't closed to this day. And the second reason why gaps happen is because let's say you have a bunch of orders. Let's say people are trading the news, right? And you have 1 million orders on one broker going at the same time. It's going to be hard for the broker to catch all those trades at the same time because that's a lot of movement, a lot of volatility. So you'll see a gap on a broker if there's a lot of executed orders, and I wouldn't say a glitch, but you'll get a gap in the market like that. So that's why I'm not a firm gap trader, if you will. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I have seen gaps be closed in the sense of trading. But yeah, I would say more along the line, we're looking more so for that structure. So what I'm actually going to do is we're going to get very specific now. We know we're at structure. I'm going to be looking at that 50 or that 61.8 fib ratio. Why specifically these ratios now? Because we've broken below this point. What was resistance, or I'm sorry, what was support is somewhat broken. Doesn't necessarily mean it's fully, because on the 4-hour time this is actually going to close in the next 20 minutes as well. But this could still very much be bullish. I mean, we're still creating higher highs. If you want to be technical, this would be the entire zone. I don't ever have my zones that big. So we're going to cheat a little bit, and we're going to make our zone right here. So right in between that 50 and the 61.8. We know we're at structure. I'm not going to mark that up over here. I don't want to confuse anybody or have my charts look crazy with a bunch of stuff on the chart. I want to keep it just like this. So if I start to see more development or more rejection from this area, I'm going to be looking for buys. Go back to gold. Look at that. Look at that. I'm liking the way that this is looking right now as well. So depending, let's see how the next few candles look. And we might actually go ahead and place some trades, some potential buys on gold, some potential buys on EU. Let me see what GJ's doing. Probably being stupid. Gbpjpy. Just still chilling there. So yeah, let me go back to gold real quick. Might get some nice trades. setting up here on gold. Might have some good trades setting up here on Euro USD as well. Let me go to Gbpjpy USD. Okay. So this is, oh, look at that. And this is why I always tell you guys, identify where the market has made moves from before, and you'll be able to identify potential entries from there, from those points. So GU did come and sell from our sell area, but we're still looking a little bullish. So let me go ahead and redo this. So all I'm doing is trying to find confluence throughout this market, all right? And I'm on the small, I know I'm on the 1 hour marking up, but it's because I understand the overall market already. Like, I know that we're at a level of significant structure. I know that right now we're in a bullish market. So I'm using the smaller time frames right now to get some detailed work to see if there is any potential ideas. Let me go back onto the daily really quick. Hold on. Okay. So the reason why I jump back onto the daily really fast is not only are we at this level of resistance, I'm also taking into consideration this candlestick right here, right? That candle is leaving a wick to the upside and showing us a bearish variant. So we might actually, depending, we got to let the markets develop a little bit, but we might actually start seeing a difference. I mean, I was looking for buys on EU, but if GU is looking to sell, EU is going to sell, and then gold's going to sell too. So I actually do want to see how this candle closes, or the majority of how these candles are going to start closing. I need to see the characteristics of the market. I'm not just going to go ahead and start blindly trading. Could buy up to 1087 on EU, then potential creation of right shoulder and drop from there. Yeah, it definitely could. You know what I mean? If you can see something in that manner, by all means, use your education, your knowledge, your understanding of the chart, so identify your entry criteria, what the market is doing. But yeah, that could definitely be a solid idea. So all I'm doing right now is just adding a little bit of detail to my analysis really quick. I'm actually going to bring this a little bit lower. I'll bring that right. Yeah, I'll leave it right there for now. The reason why I'm doing that is because there is a potential little trend line right here. There is that level of structure. Just using it as a barrier doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be entering off of these points right now, though. Again, development of your trades is super, super important. So yeah, any other questions, anything else you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely available. Definitely got time for you guys. If not, we'll conclude here in a bit. I do have to trade binary with my students. If anything, for legacy students that are on right now, I'm going to be getting the automation set up for the pocket options, so that way I could trade everybody's binary counts. If you guys still want to do the sessions, we can still do the sessions in the morning right after this. That's perfectly fine as well. If you want more of the automated stuff, let me know in the Discord. I'll get that set up. I'm going to get it set up regardless, but I want to know if you guys want to still do the live sessions, or are you cool with just me trading and you guys just chilling. So definitely let me know. But yeah, let me actually go back to gold really quick, because that seems like, let me actually check the DXY. That's what I wanted to see, actually. So the DXY, the dollar index, is obviously just going to show you what the US dollar is going to be doing. So we're still kind of within this little weird range, if you will, right? Still within this small little range. So we might have to wait to see. Because in a ranging market, the market's just building up the needed momentum and volatility for it to make its next move. And with the DXY, just kind of, oh, that's a nice little double bottom right there too. Let's see what you have, huh? Live session. You like the live sessions more? All right. I was hoping the automation, because back-to-back sessions is crazy. No, it's not that bad, actually. So all I'm doing right now is getting a small idea of DXY, just so that way we have some analysis. And nah, I won't even add that. So I'm just looking at the DXY like that for right now. Not much I'm going to do on this as of yet. But yeah, any other questions, anything else you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. Definitely want to make sure that I'm helping and assisting to the best of my abilities. If not, I'll be concluding here in a bit. I just want to make sure that, again, that we jump onto these sessions. We really help, or I help you guys understand how to become a little bit more consistently profitable, and really help you guys. I mean, I really want to see people progress. I know Forex trading does seem difficult at times, but if somebody like me could make it, I mean, anybody could start trading this. So binary options, what about it, brother? Yes, I trade binary with my students. I'm not a professional binary trader by no means. I've been practicing for a while, and we've been doing really fucking good. We've been doing really good with our binary options. So if we can continue to make money in another market, I want to make sure that I give that profit to my students. So definitely. But yeah, any questions, anything else you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. I know there is a delay, so there's like a 20-second delay. I have no idea why that is. If anybody's, computer savvy, knows how to use this little thing, Streamlabs OBS, that would be great, because I can take the delay away and be able to answer your questions almost immediately. And if there is no delay, if I can find a way where there's not a delay between me and you in the sessions, there will be potential like ideas where I want to trade binary live with you guys, but there can't be a delay because timing is everything with binary. So yeah, but yeah, questions, comments, anything else you guys got? Binary, hit me up directly on Facebook or Instagram, dude. But I don't want to. This is all knowledge. I don't want to tell you guys joining shit. No, I just want to give you guys knowledge as well. But yeah, just hit me up after. I got you. But I'm taking a quick look at gold just because I want to see how it's going to be reacting around this area. I don't like the buys right now, only because this bearish candle, right? I want to see some more bullish momentum from this area. Let me go to Euro USD. That's exactly why we let the markets develop and we don't just immediately trade. So that goes back to my man's about patience or not being patient. This is exactly why I always say, be patient. Allow the markets to develop and really show you what it wants to do. So right now I'm going to get specific. We're going to look at the 61.8. Actually, we'll just be looking at this zone here between the 61.8 and the 7.1. Now, again, I am not immediately placing a trade there. I'm identifying the best area for potential entries. So after a strong impulsive move, this being a strong impulsive move, there's going to be a strong correction. So we're actually going to cheat a little bit and now look at this as our entry point. So strong buy zone. If broken, we do not buy. And the reason why I'm putting it there is because obviously we still have that bullish trend line. That could still be considered as well. How can I become your student? Just hit me up after. All my, I think my information is in the description for you guys, as far as like being able to hit me up. Let me just double check. Is it? It is not. Okay. Let me actually, I'll fix that. That's really weird. I figured that. Oh, I see what I did. I didn't save the previous settings. Okay. Let me do this. Facebook equals JM_pips. IG, which I'm never on, but you guys can definitely hit me up on there. JM_pips. That's it. I put my phone number up, but never that. Somebody, I'll get prank called all day. But yeah, if you guys want to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, whichever one's easier for you. I'll be able to answer any and all questions that you guys have as well. But let me see real quick. Any other chats? All right, let me see. Any questions? Any other markets? What else you guys got? Not markets, because I'm going to be sending my analysis on these charts anyway in the Discord. If you're not a part of the Discord, I know that is in the description below, so be sure you're with that. But yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, we'll conclude for today. Again, I just wanted to make sure that we're on these charts, really helping and educating, answering any and all questions, and really helping you guys understand what's needed to become a lot more consistent and profitable within your own individual trading. So definitely appreciate every last one of you. We were able to have a pretty high view count for today, considering that we just started with this. I don't market this. I don't really have a team. I'm like doing this all by myself. I'm literally just giving back the value. So organically growing this channel is amazing right now. So I owe it all to you guys. I appreciate every last one of you. If I do see any signals, if I do see any trades, if there's anything that we can be profitable with, I'll be sure to share that in the Discord with you guys. Again, it is right here. Everybody's hit me up in Discord now, but you guys can see here, I'm going to always share my analysis, share everything that I have for you guys to see what's going on in the markets and help you guys become more profitable. So yeah, doesn't seem like you guys have any questions or anything for me right now. For the individuals who did ask questions, they were beautiful questions. I want to extend my gratitude to you for asking. I hope you guys were able to get enough education, knowledge, and value. That's the most important thing for me to give to you guys. So if you were able to get some value, some knowledge, get some ideas, if you haven't already, please like the video. It definitely helps. It extends the reach much further for people to join, get more education and better understanding when it comes to trading. So I highly appreciate you. If you could like the video, cool. If not, I don't care. God bless you anyway. Hope you still have an amazing day. For my legacy students, I'll be taking a 30-minute break. We'll be jumping on to our binary session. I'll make sure that I post the Zoom link in the Discord for you guys, so that way we can all jump on a binary session as well. I might have to make another deposit because I withdrew the majority of profits before, and I have no idea how much I have left in there. I was like, give me my money. So if anything, I'll be making another deposit real quick, so that way you guys or we can all trade. And then go from there. If any student does not have a binary broker, simply hit me up. I'll get you situated with that, so that way you're good to go. But yeah, looks like you guys are good so far. I appreciate every last one of you guys. Again, it's really important that I help you guys. So if you guys got any help and any value, my job here is done. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, that being said, guys, have an amazing day. Students, I'll see you guys here in a little bit, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys.